heard lots of laughing in the next room.
Yeah.
And we have to tell you that the laugh, if you heard the laugh here, then it made us laugh. So that you would feel that we were having as much fun in here as you clearly were in the next room.
Bennett, maybe not very clearly because of the movies that he makes, but has actually an amazing sense of humor.
Yeah.
I think obviously it comes through a little bit in the film, but he's, when I talk to him, sometimes he's so serious, and I go, God, have you ever laughed, man? Have you ever not thought anything that's like not deep and that matters? And then every once in a while he'll just be like he'll just be carefree, and I'm just like, who is this guy?
Well, it's a victory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it kind of came out of nowhere. Just that he made us all laugh, so that you went, how you doing? And then he gave you the finger. That's what happened. That's just what happened.
Now, this question is for the three of you. Do you have to connect at an emotional level with the characters you're playing? And if so, how do you do it with this particular case? Any of you?
You go for that one. You're good at that.
Mark is always so good at these things. We both just sort of always look Mark.
Yeah, right. I mean, you never know what's going to turn you on about a part. Sometimes it's, something that personally resonates with you. Sometimes it's something that seems like it'd just be fun to do. Sometimes it's the people you're working with. And this one was kind of all three of those things. It was challenging and something I'd never done. Emotionally, I wanted to explore that aspect of it, and getting a chance to work with Steve and Chan and Bennett was also really exciting. So it changes, I think, from time to time.
Now, Dupont is such a cipher. Like, how do you get into the skin of this guy?
Well, I think we all researched the roles. We found out as much as we could about the people. And there's an added responsibility because they are real people, and you don't want to be glib about a portrayal. And you want to take it seriously and do your best to honor them. And it's only your best representation of who that person might have been. I don't think any of us can say this is that person through and through, because you're estimating who they are, what's going on in their minds, how they walk, how they talk. It's an estimation, but within that, I think we all tried to find whatever truth we could. And that, I think that was the struggle and the effort and the goal, character-wise.
Channing, I was told that years ago when Bennett first said, "Hey, I've got this thing I'm thinking about doing. You'd be perfect for it." And then as you talked over the years, at one point you thought, "No, it's too weird and too dark, and I don't know if it's for me." What changed from that point until the point at which you just said yes to making the film?
I think the first time I read the script, I just didn't understand why you wanted to make the film. I was just like, well, there's no resolve to any of this. So there's no the lesson learned in a way. I mean, it's way more complicated than that. It's actually more close to life. It's just it's a portrait of something that has happened in a way. And I just don't think I was anywhere near understanding story or character or what I was trying to do, and storytelling or acting or whatever. And I think I did a lot of growing in like the 7 years in between meeting Bennett first, and plus Bennett was really weird back then. He was like a weird guy, and I mean that very, very seriously.
I guarantee you that won't be in any of these articles.
That is definitely not the sentence that will be used.
I've already tweeted it, so
that won't be bolded.
No. And he's still weird, but
And
but I don't know. He was just such a different person when I met him. I don't know. 7 years later, I guess a lot can happen, and he just seems so clear. And I think he might have helped me more clearly understand what the goal was with the film, and then we just that was it. And then I just kind of fell in love with the idea of actually attempting this, because it was going to be a mountain of a I guess a goal.
And was it perhaps that nobody wins at the end of this is something that made people a little uneasy about it in the beginning stages? Because Bennett was saying he had a hard time getting interest in this to get it made. And I just wonder, because at the end of the movie there are no clear winners. There are a number of people whose lives have been altered forever in some devastating ways.
I don't think it fits it's kind of like, okay, I got a story about two lesbians and their sperm donor dad. I mean, I have a story about two brother wrestlers, one of them gets killed, and I don't think anyone knew what it would be.
Right.
And so is it funny? Is it salacious? Is it a weird sexual love triangle? No one knew what. So I remember even hearing about the next movie that Bennett was doing, which was going to be this, which was 8 years ago, and because he was going to do this after Capote, and you sort of heard the story and thought, who's gonna want to see that, And I think a lot of that was the original response to most people he took it to, and why it took so long to get made.
By the same token, I think that the fact that Bennett chose to do it, and he's so selective and so
means a lot.
He is so comprehensive in how he designs his films that you have to take that into regard. And I did. I thought, well, there's obviously a lot going on here because he's chosen to do it.
Did you guys take your characters home at all? It seems like such a...
We didn't go home.
You didn't go home?
we went
Still not home.
I mean, they're pretty heavy guys, so...
We never left the work when we were doing it. We were going from the set to the gym, and then that was every single day, and then on the weekends we were at the gym and washing clothes. But did you get to go home very much?
I didn't go home once.
Yeah.
My wife was pregnant during this, and she came to Pittsburgh, supposed to stay a week. She left after the second day. She was just like, nope, this is not healthy for me to be here. You're in a weird place, and it's okay. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go now.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you. Call me, at least once a night before you go to bed, and let me know you're okay, and we'll be fine.
When I talk to my family, would talk to my wife on the phone. She'd ask how it went that day, and I'd say, well, and I wouldn't talk about it. I didn't recount the day or talk about anything that we did because there was just no energy to do so. I don't know if she wanted to hear about it either, but there weren't stories from the set, or we did this great practical joke on Channing. It wasn't like that. It was very still and very somber, and Bennett set that tone.
I remember I like to play around a lot, and I would be on set and I would do something and someone would laugh and Bennett, I just see.
Bennett would kind of like DuPont me every once in a while. If I started to laugh at something Mark did, or it's just I don't know if I just joked at all. He was, Jan, get your head back in it, and I'm like,
How many times did I hear that? Shannon, get your head back in it.
And like, there's a part of you that just wants to go and just like strangle him, and like, there's, you can't, because that's like his job.
Go to jail.
Yeah.
Did you find any similarity between yourself and the characters each of you?
I'm sorry?
Any similarity between yourself and
I don't know. I really don't.
But you had to draw on something to do DuPont. That's Steve a little bit. I obviously don't share it, but there must have been something that you're pulling out of it.
Yeah, I think so. I think
A lot
that,
of
I'm sure there.
overcompensating.
I'm sure there are. Yeah, it's a weird thing to talk about.
Now, this is the scene of the mirror. How do you build yourself to that spot in which it's so visceral and tough to do?
I don't remember that scene. Have you ever been in a fight? Have you ever like been? You know how you kind of don't remember the fight afterwards? You're like, I think I remember hitting. I think I remember getting hit. I don't know. I think I won. Wait, did I lose? I'm not sure. We only did it once, and that was it. And I don't remember very much of it. I just told them, I was like, look, whatever's in that room probably won't come out not broken. I mean, and that's all from Mark. I mean, Mark would tell me, Schultz would tell me that he would punish himself so badly after he lost that he would make losing so much worse than whatever physical pain that he was going through in the match. So he would never want to do it again.
Are you nowadays interested in wrestling? I mean, watching on TV and all that. I think your father practiced it, and you yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's something that now you're interested, you both, or you're more interested now.
I am.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know anything about freestyle wrestling before we started, but I've done martial arts, and I'm really, really into mixed martial arts. So freestyle wrestling is a large part of MMA now, and I think it's crazy that they're trying to take it out of the Olympics. It's one of the first games, so it's one of the original ones, and I think should be illegal, but whatever. It's just a hard sport to understand, I think, when you're watching it, even for people that are versed in it. The understanding of what's going on, how they score, is difficult. It's very, very, very complicated, and I think that's why it's hard to watch for people that don't know anything about it.
What about the physical side of it? Because you both kind of went a little bit ape-like. It was all very sort of punched over, and you walked in a certain way, and was that something that you got coaching on? I mean, did you have?
That wasn't wrestlery, I guess. I don't think we were trying to be wrestlers. We had a lot of footage on Dave, and I mean, I got to look Mark in the face and walk beside him and eat with him. So that was really. I wish I could say I was just creating it. Yeah, but that was just me, just watching him.
I wanted to ask about the wrestling itself as we're talking about it. Like that initial scene with the two of you just practicing, like so much is said about your relationship right there. Like how choreographed is that, and did it really get messy at any point in time?
It always got messy.
You can't. It's the funny thing about wrestling is it's different from a fight scene because it unless it's at 100%, it looks fake. And so we would spend a lot of time choreographing a scene, but at the end of the day, you had to sort of go 100% with all the hands fighting and all that until you can hit your move.
Right.
And even when you hit your move, you had to hit it at 100%. For some reason, it just looked staged. And so we did a lot of choreographing. But at the end of the day, Ben would be like, it just doesn't look real. I think you have to go for it, And so...
Yeah, boxing, you can, or punching, you can move the camera so it looks like it hits. And there's trickery. And wrestling, it's a flow sport, so it's messy. And there's no, stages to it. So even with drilling, like wrestling, you drill double leg takedowns, drill double leg takedowns, drill double leg takedowns. And then hand fighting... is just a melee. And it's just a melee, and then but you get used to being inside of that melee, and you look for things, and the moments get clearer as you do it, and then you sort of it's just a flow thing, and we got used to flowing with each other. essentially.
But that warm up that we did in the beginning, we'd start every practice with that. So by the time we shot that, we'd probably done that like 50 or 60 or 70 times. So it does have a feeling of that kind of dance, you know. And it was funny because there was 25 pages in the script before that.
That was very unsettling when I saw that scene pop up. I was like, wait, what?
In the beginning of the movie, we're 5 minutes into the movie, and Bennett's cut 25 pages out of the film of our really good scenes together.
Really, really good. And then by the end of the scene, that's everything you need to know
about those two guys.
Yeah, the relationship between the two of them is summed up without words. Yeah.
It's the pure cinema.
Pardon me, we're talking about the intensity of of the film, and Bennett said the three of you committed fully at the beginning. I'm wondering to what extent you had to go farther than you anticipated, that how much more pressure was on, by the end of it than you had expected at the beginning.
Every day seemed like a pushing.
Just the relentlessness of it, I think was, just staying inside of that. From everything to the uncomfortableness of the character, the monotony of the wrestling, it just never stopped. Like I think I can comfortably say that we were all just very happy when the movie was over, or just not happy but relieved of just being like, oh God, that's over now.
We did that.
Yeah, it's. For whatever it turns out, we survived the film in a way. And for me personally, it was like that. I think Mark and I wept after the last wrestling scene. Held each other and wept.
I think having the real people on set from time to time was something that I hadn't anticipated, and that added an extra weight to it all as well, because there was a responsibility to them to do the best that we could.
Was there someone from the DuPont family at all? Or
there was no one from the DuPont family, but Mark Schultz was there for quite a bit of time. Nancy Schultz was there for a couple of days, and people who knew. Dave's best friend, John Giro, was there he's a producer on the film, and so there were many participants, actual participants there that I think added a heft to it, and that's something that I hadn't anticipated, but I think it was very generous of them to be there and to avail themselves to the project.